everybody, welcome back to Simple Art for Adults. My name is Erin and I'm going to do kind of like a two-part video. I thought about splitting it and making it two separate videos, but I'm just going to do it all in one because I think it'll be easier that way. The first part was something that a couple of the admins and moderators in my group brought up and asked me to do, and I think it's a good idea. So we're going to go ahead and carry it on. As you guys know, Zoe Archer started the top 10 coloring books that you would bring with you if you were stranded on a desert island. And that went all around the coloring community, and there were some really popular videos, and I really enjoyed watching what everyone would bring with them. So what I am going to do today in the first part of this video is I'm going to do a Desert Island Tagback, and I'm going to tag Zoe first and foremost. And instead of the top 10 coloring books you would bring with you on a desert island, I would like to know the top 10 coloring supplies that you would bring with you if you were stranded on a desert island. So here's the rules, and I knew people were going to ask, so here's what I figure. If it's a set, that counts as one item. So like your set of Prismacolors or your set of Polychromos or your set of gel pens, that counts as one item. So I have my top 10 all picked out, and I will show them to you. First and foremost on my list is going to be, of course, my set of Faber-Castell Polychromos. I love these pencils. They are so fun to use. They work really well on paper where Prismacolors tend to struggle a little bit, so I probably would never leave home without my Faber-Castell Polychromos colored pencils. I'm trying to zip it back up now. Okay, so there's my first item. Trying to put things on a shelf as I go here. And my second item, of course, is my Prismacolor colored pencils. These are still my favorites. I haven't found anything I like more than these yet. The Polychromos are close, but I still like these better, and I think it's not necessarily that they're better pencils, it's just that I'm more familiar with them, which I think is the reason why I prefer them. But this would be item number 2. So, and believe it or not, guys, this is the only 2 sets of pencils I'm bringing. I'm not bringing any more pencils. This is it. Other things are more important. Alright, the rest of it's pretty small. Next up is this. This is my Pentel Milky Pop white gel pen, and it's a size medium. I used to be a big fan of the Jelly Roll pens, but honestly, the ink in this is a whole lot more opaque, so you can lay it down over a Prismacolor, and it will pull up some of the color, but not very much at all. And I love these pens, so I definitely would not be stranded on a desert island without it. So that's my third item. Next up is this little bad boy. This is my drawl adjustable pencil sharpener. I did go ahead and get rid of the other one. It was dulling on me, so this is this one I just opened up a couple days ago. For those of you who aren't familiar with this, basically what it is you have settings from 1 to 5, and the higher the setting, the longer the point gets. I prefer to sharpen mine, I believe it's setting 2, which gives me this with my Prismacolors, and with the Polychromos, I'll use like 3 or 4. If I need a really long point, I can use 5 on here, but instead of that, I usually use my M&R. But because I can get a long point with this, I'm just going to take this one. This is going to sharpen both sets of my pencils perfectly. So this is my fourth item. Number 5 on my list is my Ohuhu electric eraser. It just spins, so it gives you some erasing power. This is one of my favorite tools. I probably would never be caught dead on a desert island without this thing. For those of you who are curious, and I know the Derwent one is really popular, this one I believe costs a little bit less than the Derwent, but it takes the same refills. So you get the same refills with it, which I don't know why I bought this one over the Derwent, probably because it was cheaper, I'm not sure. But either way, I like it. From what I understand, they're all pretty much the same, so this is definitely coming. The next thing on my list is my Tombow Mono Zero eraser, and I would stick a new refill in there before I went. Now, essentially, this is like a mechanical pencil. So you just click the top and the eraser comes out like that. And it's a very small, thin eraser, so it's perfect for getting highlights. Like if you're coloring hair and you want to get some highlights, or if you make a real small mistake in a tiny area, you can go in there and take care of it. So this is another one of my favorite coloring supplies, and this would be coming with me in my top 10. Next up, of course, is the Gamsol filled Copic sketch marker. Now mine, I know a lot of you guys have asked about this, so I'll just show you. The tip is discolored, and this is from picking up the pigments on colored pencils. But for the most part, the color doesn't come off, it's just stained. See, you're not going to get any color really off that. I use this to blend colors, especially for large areas like backgrounds. I do have a video on how I made this and how it works. I've had it now for several months, and as you can see how close I can get it to focus for you. The nib is stained, but it's not like eating through it or anything. It's still in perfect condition. I've used this on Create Space paper, all kinds of different things, and it still works wonderfully. So that was everybody's concern, was that over time the Gamsol would kind of like eat through it and cause it to break down, but that hasn't happened yet, and it's been several months. So this is on my list too, absolutely. That was my number 7. Number 8 on my list is a set of fine liners. These come in handy in coloring books for a variety of reasons. I like the Spectrum Noir set because they start with the itty bitty, like the 0.005, and they run all the way up to, there's a brush tip in here too. And I like these a lot. These are some really good fine liners. These would definitely be coming with me because it's going to give me a lot of versatility. Okay, so where are we? Number 9. We're at number 9. That's my color diary. This is a journal that I picked up on clearance sale. I believe it's at like a grocery store like Meijer or something like that. They had it on clearance sale. I think I paid like $3 or $4 for it. And basically what it is where I keep my lists, like my recipes for all the pictures that I've colored and all the ones I'm coloring. My first page is the pictures that I finished, so I can show those off at the end of the month. And then in here, I've got the different pages that I've done highlighted. Oh, and just so you guys know, this isn't really part of my top 10. This is part of my top 10. This is the 9th item. But this is what I'm using to highlight in there. These are Caran d'Ache highlighter pencils, and I got these, the set of 2. I got them at Hobby Lobby the other day for 90 cents on clearance. These are too cool. So if you want some big fat neon pencils, you can get, this is the only 2 colors they come in. But they were inexpensive. They were 90 cents for the 2. Okay, so this was my 9th item. And then last, but most certainly not least, I would have to bring one of these. And I need to bring my biggest one. A lot of you guys have asked me about this. What's the sheet that I put between my coloring book pages? This is a silicone cutting mat. You can find them in the kitchen section of department stores. Some Dollar Trees have them. I got mine at Dollar Tree. They come in 2 great big sheets for $1. So what I did was I stuck it in my coloring books. I bought several and I stuck them in different size coloring books and kind of trimmed them to fit. And then this is just washi tape around the edge because when you cut these, the edges get kind of sharp. So I just stuck some washi tape around the cut edge so it would not cut me. So this is my 10th item. I wouldn't be able to color without this, so I would have to bring it. So there you go, folks. That is my top 10 coloring supplies I would bring with me if I were stranded on a desert island. So I am going to tag, of course, Zoe, since she started the whole thing. So she's going to be my first tag back. And I'm also going to tag a couple of my most favorite YouTubers out there. I'm going to tag Ann Stiggers over at A Colorful Life. And I'm also going to tag KP Colors. I love watching KP Colors. Her channel is one of my absolute favorites. Everything she talks about is just so interesting. So a lot of times when I'm, just coloring by myself, I'll turn her channel on and listen to what she's got to talk about. It's just, I don't know, something about her, it just interests me. I think we like a lot of the same things. So maybe that's why her channel appeals to me so much. So I'm going to tag those 2 ladies. When we get to the end, like I was one of the last ones to do the coloring book one, and I wasn't sure who to tag. So, you guys can tag whoever you like. I would maybe try to keep it to like 1 or 2 channels, per video though, so that there's people left for everybody else to tag. It's such a cool idea, and I like this because what's happening is, everybody's discovering new YouTubers that they didn't even know were out here. So, and that's kind of the reason why I really want to keep this going, so that the people who haven't had a chance to get caught up with the Desert Island tag, if they're still coming in, they can check this out. They can come and see the other YouTubers who are getting tagged and just kind of follow the circle. So I'm really excited about this. It's making me so happy that so many people are discovering new people that can help them and entertain them. It's just really, really cool. Okay, so that's the end of my Desert Island Tagback, the top 10 coloring supplies I would bring with me if I were stranded on a desert island. At this point, I'm going to take a short break. If you came here to watch this video just for the Tagback, this is the end for you. The rest of the video after the break is just going to be a standard color and chat. So if you don't want to continue watching that part, that's okay. That's why I'm letting you know that I'm breaking this video in half, and this is where the Tagback ends. Thank you for tuning in if that was you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. For everyone else, I will return shortly. Alright, for those of you who stuck around and wanted to see the color and chat portion of today's video, that's what I'm getting ready to start now, as soon as I open up my Pepsi Zero here. It is so hot outside today, guys, and I was outside spraying weeds, and it's like 90 degrees, so much humidity, and it's not even noon yet, so it's crazy hot. What I'm going to be coloring on today is a picture from Rhapsody in the Forest that I'm doing for the Simple Art for Adults Facebook group weekly challenge. And it is a landscape this week, so I have been coloring on this image. I may have to end up moving some things out of my way so I can actually color today. So this is the image that I've been working on. I was doing some of the tulips last night. I don't have a whole lot left to do, fortunately, because this is the last day that I have to do it. But I was showing my tulips to some people yesterday. And in both cases, they mentioned that maybe I should show you guys how to do it. So you know what? I've got stuff in my way. I'm going to move some of this stuff off my desk really quickly so I have more room to stretch my book out. Bear with me just a second, guys. Sorry about the shadows and my arm being in the way. Okay, so now I have some more room. So what I wanted to do today is kind of show you guys how I'm doing the tulips in here. And it's actually not too hard. What I did was I took the same yellow that I used in the sunset with the Holbeins. And the only Holbeins I have are the pastel ones, which is fine. Those colors came in perfect for this, which is absolutely what I used. Let me see if I can zoom back in a little. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of show you guys how I did this one here. I might zoom just a wee bit more. There we go. Okay. So what I'm doing is sharpen up just a wee little bit. To get this, what I'm doing is I'm taking my lightest color, which is in this case Prismacolor Permanent Red, and I'm just kind of lightly putting a layer down, and I'm leaving an edge on the petals that I want to have the yellow highlights. Now I'm just doing it randomly. Of course you can do it however you want. Your highlights can be a totally different color. You can have them reflect multiple colors, purple, pink, whatever you like. The goal with this, and something that I've been working on, and I'm going to do a video on soon too, I think, is contrast in coloring. And I spent some time kind of studying everybody else's pictures that they're doing and trying to figure out what it is that I like most about them, why certain images catch my eye more than others. And the one thing that I noticed in all these pictures was the contrast, the difference between the lightest lights and the darkest darks, and that's what really makes things jump off the page whenever you're coloring something like this. Sorry guys, I'm super thirsty today. So what I did was I picked some Prismacolor pencils and I tried to recreate that, and I think that with the tulips it actually worked. So my next color now is going to be Crimson Red, and I'm just going to kind of put this in parts of the petal. I'm going to be a little sloppy right now. Unfortunately, this is the first time I've colored today, and it usually takes me a few minutes to get my color and mojo where I'm not going out of the lines. At this point, I'm not trying to be neat. I'm just trying to put my colors down so I can see where they're going to be and make sure that I'm happy with it. I don't necessarily always use light layers with Prismacolors anymore because I know what I can do with them. But my first layers that I put down are generally light layers, just so I can see where my colors are. Now I'm going to take my darkest color, which is Black Raspberry, and I am going to use that for my darkest dark. And I'm going to go ahead and push down kind of hard with that. And I'm going to kind of trace right here just a little bit. So I'm going where the artist here has already given me some indication that there should be a shadow. I'm putting it down along the bottom here, and also just a smidge right around that corner. Don't want to put too much there. And just a tiny little bit where each of the petals are overlapping, because that's going to create a shadow. So also right down through here, and right down through here. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but there's a jet flying overhead. We live a couple miles from it's a small airport, but it's an airport nonetheless. So the planes, by the time they get to my house, are flying pretty low, because they're either just taking off from the airport or they're landing. And you get to hear it every once in a while. Just kind of neat. I like it, actually. They're not the great big huge commercial jets, so it doesn't like get real loud. Okay, so now that I have my colors in place where I want them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Naples Yellow, which is out of the Holbein Pastel set, and I'm going to go ahead and go in and trace over, just kind of outline where I want my lightest lights to be. And you can do this with anything. It doesn't have to be flowers. You can do it with absolutely anything. Okay, so I've got my lightest lights in now, and I'll have to go back and add another layer of it, I'm sure, once I get my other colors in, but that's fine. Okay, so now I'm gonna work backwards. I already put my darkest dark in exactly where I want it, and I put it down heavy, so I don't need more. But now I'm gonna come back in with Crimson Red, and I'm gonna go heavy with it in the places that I put it originally. And I'm going to make sure that I go over that Black Raspberry to kind of blend it out into the rest of my flower. And put some here. Again, I want to make sure I've got it blended over that Black Raspberry. And then finally, I'm going to go back in with my permanent red. And I'm going to go right up to my highlight. Or mostly to my highlight, because what I do at the end is I'll take my blender pencil to smooth everything over and to kind of push the Prismacolor right up where I want it. And I'll show you that in just a second. See, so you can see that in a couple places I've got it to where I don't have it, it's not as thin, the highlights aren't as thin as they are here. So I am going to use my blender pencil if I can get it to sharpen. There we go. It's tiny. I've got it in my pencil extender. It's about had it. I can't sharpen it anymore because it won't fit in the sharpener. So now I'm just going to take it and I'm going to use it to push the color right up where I want it. See, I can kind of move it around and push it up closer to the edge, and at the same time I am smoothing out all my colors, mixing them together. Push this one up a little more. Hope you guys can see. And I'm using heavy pressure because I am basically smearing the pigment closer to the tips where I want the highlight to be. So it does take some pressure to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and come down and blend this out. And that's all there is to it. And we have our tulip that's done. And I think, and everybody, you know, the people that I've showed this to are like, wow, that looks so good. And you know, not to toot my own horn, but I do kind of agree. But I think what it is it's the contrast. And that's all it is. That's the only difference that I've made. And if you notice, like in the rest of the picture, I don't have all that contrast. It's all just kind of, I mean, I've done some shading and stuff in there, but it's nothing like this. And what's going to happen because of it is these tulips are going to be the focus of the picture, which is absolutely what I want. I want the tulips to be the focus. And this is a really, really good way to do it. Number one, it's the brightest, warmest color on the page, so that's going to make it the focal point. And number two, the contrast. See where I have the dark right here and the light right next to it? That immediately makes you want to look at it. That's the first thing that your eye is going to see, is because of that contrast. So you can do this with anything. You can do it with buildings, you can do it with animals, you can do it with people. And a lot of you who post in the Facebook group about, I really like how I've shaded this, but what can I do to make it look a little better, a little more realistic? Oftentimes, from what I see, the only thing you need to do is just add a little more contrast. So you can try things like this. Make sure that you use light layers, you put your colors where you want them first, you like how it's all laid out, and then continue to overlap some color, wait till you get, you know, a section of whatever it is that you're doing done, and then once you like the result, you just go on in and do the rest, which is what I am going to do right now. So this one's going to be a little different because it's laying sideways. It's not going to have, yeah, that's where I'm going to put the shadow for that one. This one, or the highlight, I mean, this one isn't even going to have one, this petal, because it's wrapped up in the others. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that one in. And then I'm going to have a little more highlight up here on the top. There we go. And then this will all be in shadow here, as will this. This petal may have a small little bit of highlight. And this one will too, just a little bit. And then we're just going to go ahead and color that in. So what I'm going to do, my plan is to just kind of sit here and work on my tulips and chat with you guys a little bit. Talk about what's been going on the last few days. I have ordered me some new coloring supplies. They should be here, I think, well, I ordered 2 coloring books. And those will be here Monday. I got the Misfits Gothic edition, the Gothic volume out of the Misfits book. And then I ordered the Lunar Mysteries Lacy Sunshine by Heather Valentin, because I've seen so many pretty Heather Valentin pictures, and I was really excited. I really wanted to do one, so that's the one that I chose. So those should be here Monday. I also bought a gently used set of 40 luminance pencils. I'm not going to say from who, because I'm not sure if she wants me to say from who. I forgot to ask her. But I can tell you that I did buy some. So I bought some gently used luminance pencils that are going in the mail today. So I should have those soon. I've got the Misfits Coloring Heaven special on its way to me also. And that one's coming from the UK, so it'll probably take a while. I also got an email from Anthem Publishing, which is the company that makes those magazines, the Color in Heaven magazines. And they offered me a 3-month subscription for $10, like as a kind of a trial run type deal. So I went ahead and did it. I figure why not for $10. You know, each one of those magazines costs like $12.50 now, I think. So the way I see it, I'm getting 3 for less than the cost of 1 as a trial. And I'll go ahead and give it a shot and see what they're like. If I like them, then I'll continue the subscription. If not, I can cancel it. So you guys can get the deal, I think, on their website. Just go to Anthem Publishing website and then look for the Coloring Heaven magazine. And I think that you'll see it there. Be aware, though, that if you do sign up for that trial, the $10 trial, if you don't want to continue receiving it, you don't want them to bill your credit card, you have to cancel it. They will automatically bill your card for, I think, $23 for the next 3 months or something, which is still a really good deal. But just keep in mind that in the fine print it does say that they will automatically bill you, so if you don't want that to happen, be sure that you go in and cancel it beforehand. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's in there. So I do have some new goodies coming. Over the next couple of weeks. They should all be rolling in. And like I said in a previous video, I don't really I don't really intend to buy a whole lot of stuff just to buy it. I don't want to do that anymore, because I've realized I have so much stuff that I'm never even going to have the opportunity to use, and there's just no point in buying it all. But these things are things I really did want. You know, I mean, I really did want them. It's not a matter of buying them just to buy them. It's a matter of buying them because I like them. And I am ready for them to come. So speaking of things of that nature, I'm trying to still think of a schedule for doing my YouTube videos. It's not too bad right now because, like I said, the kids are gone. They're in Wisconsin with their dad right now. But when they come back, things are going to get a little busier for me again, and I want to be able to keep making videos. And I'm trying to think of the, you know, everything that I know you guys are going to want to see. And on top of the weekly, you know, at least once weekly video, what I'd also like to do is do two videos either at the end of the month or at the start of each new month. And the first one, I want to do like a showing you all my completed pages that I finished for that month, just kind of in a real quick video. And then I also want to do a haul, like what I got for that month, all the supplies I got that month. And it's not going to be a lot, more than likely, because I don't plan on ordering very much. So I'm figuring what I can do is just make it all one video. Do like the monthly completed pages and coloring supply Happy Mail video. And then that way I can show you guys the things that I've received, the things that I ordered, everything I finished. You know, if you guys send stuff, I can show it off and give your thanks during that video. But I think it would be easier for me than going and trying to do a video every single time something comes in the mail, or trying to remember to show it off in the videos that I do. It's easier for me to just keep a list of the stuff that I get through the month and then show it all off at the end of the month. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then of course I'll show you all the pages I finished too. And I figured that would be a nice fun little video once a month. Those who want to watch it, who like watching things like that, can. If it's not your cup of tea, you don't have to. I still got to go back in and do some of these other buildings. I've got some of them done. I picked some French grays and warm grays for them. Buildings aren't my strong suit though, so I mean, they're okay. I didn't do a bad job with them. I don't know. They feel kind of plain to me, which is okay. They're not supposed to be the focus anyway, so I guess it's okay that they're kind of plain. It's just something I hope at some point I can learn how to do a little bit better. And I'm sure I will. You guys have had some awesome tips. I made a post in the Facebook group about if you guys knew of anybody who did some good tutorials on buildings or had any tips. And I got some real good ones, and I appreciate it. I love our Facebook group. It's so awesome. Everybody's so friendly and helpful. If you're watching this video and you aren't a member of our Simple Art for Adults Facebook group, just type in Simple Art for Adults in the search bar and you'll find it. You do need to answer the questions in order for us to accept you in the group. And we do that just kind of as a precaution to make sure we're not accepting bots and stuff like that, and to make sure that everybody's willing to follow the copyright rules that we have in the group. So that's kind of why we do that. Oh, I got some more tulips over here. I need to get these done. Alright. Let's scoot it over here. We'll start tackling this one. I hear another plane. That one sounds like a big one though. It's up high. And again, these first couple layers are just to put my colors down and make sure I like where they are, what they look like. So it's nothing. Let me move that kind of more in the center for you guys to see. Yeah, so it's been a busy week around my house. We've been busy with the kids not being here. We did some yard work. I I did mention in one of my last videos that we bought some bird feeders, that I've never had bird feeders before and I know absolutely nothing about birds. Well, I bought one of the 2 bird feeders and I hung it up. And so we've got a bunch of little house finches that are visiting it. And then I bought another more decorative one and hung it up on the underside of my porch overhang that's out front in my yard. I'll take you guys some pictures one day. It's just a little decorative one, and there was a male cardinal in it yesterday, which was just so cool. And my boyfriend said, well, you know, being so close to where you sit when you go outside, I don't know if anything will visit it there or not. And it wasn't a couple hours after we hung it that the cardinal was there. So I was really happy about that. And of course, you know, it's your partner. You always have to tell your partner, I told you so. So, lovingly, of course. You don't want to be mean about it. But I did. I tried to get him to come look, but I mean, I couldn't move because I was sitting within 3 feet of it. And he's right. If I would have moved, it would have scared it. He knew I was there. The bird knew I was there. He just didn't care. So I bought that bird feeder yesterday while we were out at Tractor Supply. I bought a giant bag of bird seed because these finches, man, they're hungry birds. They eat that whole tube, a whole tube. And it's a good size tube. They get rid of the whole thing in like a day. And I think what they're doing is they're knocking out what they don't like. Like, I guess they call it filler seed. So they can eat what they do like. So what I think what I need to do is, even though I'm going to pay more for it, I might need to get like a better seed blend for them. I got to look into it. We'll see. Alright, back in with Naples Yellow. I also bought a bird bath at Tractor Supply. It's just, you know, it's basically just like a plate, kind of like this. It's like a round dish, and it sits on top of like a 2-foot metal pole. And I put it down in front of a trellis in my front yard that has some clematis growing on it. And that's also where I have my 2 tube bird feeder hanging up. So I stuck it right in front of that little trellis. And the birds are really liking that. The only thing with that is that it's glass and it's reflective on the bottom. So the water in there, it's hot outside right now, and that water gets hot. So I'm not sure if there's something I can do other than try to put it in the shade, but there's not a whole lot of shade in my front yard. I'm afraid to just go out a couple times a day. I thought about maybe just going out and throwing some ice cubes in it, but that might be a little too cold for the birds. I don't want to shock their little systems. So I don't know. I really don't know. I need to do some more research. If anybody has any ideas, feel free to let me know. But I'm definitely going to have to get you guys some pictures at some point so you can see. It's nothing special, but I'm proud of it. Because I came from a house that didn't have much in the way of a yard and nowhere to really put pretty things. And then we upgraded big time when we moved to Kentucky. So we have a much nicer house now. Much bigger house, much nicer yard. So I'll have to get you guys some pictures. My garden is doing well too. I'm really happy with that. I've got my Roma tomatoes are still growing. They're big, but they're still green. They're bigger than any Roma tomato I think I've ever seen, but they're still green. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I guess we're just going to have giant Roma tomatoes by the time they get good and ripe. That's fine with me. I don't mind. And then the jalapenos have sprouted. So I have 3 or 4 jalapenos on the jalapeno plant. I've got my bell peppers are finally starting to sprout. So it won't be long we'll have some of those. And the kale is just massive. I love kale. And so I planted some. I planted a lot, actually, and I can't believe how big it is. It's huge. We've already harvested some and eaten it. I think I told you guys about the kale chips. If I didn't, let me know, and I'll tell you how I make them. Kale chips are delicious. Good alternative to popcorn, too. if you are needing to get some more vegetation in your diet. Kale chips are surprisingly good, actually, even if you don't like kale. Okay, blender pencil, where'd you go? Here you are. I think I'm gonna have to dig out a new blender soon. It may actually be time for me to order some. I haven't ordered any in ages. There we go. So once I get these done, all I have left is the ground, the leaves, the bird, the mailbox, and there's one building and then a part of another building. Whether I'm trying to get this done before tomorrow morning, whether or not it'll happen, I don't know. We'll see. I hope so. I want it to be done. It'll feel real good to actually put something in the in one of the challenge albums for a change. I haven't been able to do it in so long. Let's see. Oh, some other things I want to talk about as far as making videos goes. And I know that some of you guys have asked me about color alongs. Am I going to do color alongs? I don't know yet. I am thinking about it. But what I'm afraid of is like what happened with the romantic country one. I'm afraid that I'm going to get so far into it and then not be able to finish it like I hoped. And then you guys are going to be left hanging, and I don't like doing that to anybody. It makes me feel bad. So, if I do color alongs, it's not going to be for a while. We'll wait and make sure that I'm going to have the time that I need to actually finish them, and I'm not going to get interrupted with life events. Of course, you know, you can't predict everything, but... And plus, color alongs are kind of hard to do too, because it's like no matter how hard you try, you can't make people happy. They're always upset because I chose the wrong book or the wrong pencils to use, or because I don't convert my colors over. Like if I'm using Prismacolors, everybody wants to know what color to use in polychromos, and I just don't know. And it's just so time consuming to go and try to figure it out for every single color. So, you know, there's just no way to possibly make everybody happy with a color along. Which makes me sad when I can't make everybody happy. And, you know, reasonably I know that I can't. Logically I know that I can. But it doesn't matter. When people are obviously upset because I didn't do something the way they like to do it, I feel bad. I really do. It makes me feel bad. So... we'll see. We'll see what happens. I may do them anyway, thinking about it. And I color, compared to some of you guys, I color so slow. It takes me ages to finish a picture. So instead, I'm hoping that giving you guys some tips and tricks and things that I've learned and things that I'm doing, I'm hoping it'll help you guys with your own pages. So even without the color alongs, you guys are getting some new skills and knocking stuff out of the park. And just to be clear, guys, because I've had this comment too, no, I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. It's a hobby. It's a hobby for me. It's something that I absolutely love to do. It's something that I strive to get better at every single day. I want to be a better colorist. I try to be a better colorist every time I pick up pencils. But I'm not a professional. And I'm not telling you, let's be clear on this too. If you don't do something my way, you're not doing it wrong. When I show you guys something, I'm showing you how I do it personally. I'm not showing you the right way to do it. I'm not showing you the only way to do it. I'm showing you, this is how I did it. This is how I like to do it. This is why I like it. And here's how I made it happen. So please don't ever think that anything I'm saying or doing when I make my videos is the only way, because it's not. And I know that. And you guys should too. Well, now that that's all out of the air, I don't mean to get all like somber and depressing. We've got a new giveaway. We're going to do it in July, so it's going to be a little bit yet. And I'm working on typing up the rules for the contest, and I hate calling it a contest. Safa doesn't really do contests. We do like events. And so when we do giveaway events in our Facebook group and on YouTube, it's not a skill. It's not a skill contest, guys. It never is. We pick our winners at random. Just if you participate, you have a chance of winning. Doesn't matter how much or how little effort you put into your picture. As long as it fits the criteria. Like if we say, you know, you have to use monochrome blue and you use green, well, you know, unfortunately that doesn't qualify you. But if you follow the rules of the contest and you enter, well, you have a chance of winning. It's not based on skill. We decided long ago that we don't want to do things that way. The reason that we do these things, the reason that, you know, myself and the admins and moderators, the reason that we have these things is to get you guys excited, to get you guys coloring, hopefully let you do things that you really like to do, give you inspiration that maybe you might not have had otherwise, that kind of thing. That's the only reason why we do this. So we do have a couple giveaways. I think we're going to be giving away an Ivy and the Inky Butterfly book. So for those of you who don't have that one yet, but who want it, this might be your chance. Even if you do already have it, if you want a second copy, I have a second copy. I have one that I am coloring front to back as a gift, and I have another one that I'm using to for myself and to do like tutorials and stuff in. So if you want a second copy, or if you don't have it yet, you guys are going to want to pay close attention at the end of the month when I make the announcement for the giveaway. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited about it. It's been done in the community before, but I haven't seen it in a while. And I haven't seen it on any of the ColorTube channels yet. And I could be wrong, but I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see what happens. I'm really excited to see what you guys are going to do with it. Beth right now, one of the admins in my group, she's actually doing a trial run with it. She's practicing it to see what it looks like when the picture's finished, just to make sure that it's, you know, what we're going to do. Which is so cool of her. She's like so invested in this group. All of my admins and moderators are. They're invested. So I think that's part of what makes our group so awesome, is that they work really hard to make sure that everything's fun and perfect, and the contests are actually going to work. Let me see, what else do I have to talk about? Oh, speaking of YouTube, I made myself some notes about things, so I may be a little all over the place. But speaking of YouTube, the comments that you guys leave, I can't answer all of them, and it's not because I don't want to or because I don't care what you're saying. I'm probably reading them. It's just that there is no earthly way for me to answer every single comment. I work a lot. I have like a more than full-time job. I've got things going on around the house. I got my garden going. So I try to answer some of them, but there's just no way I can answer all of them. So if you leave me a comment on my YouTube video and I don't answer you, but you see me answer somebody else later, that doesn't mean that there was something wrong with your comment or that I'm ignoring you. It just means that whenever I received another comment later down the road, I wasn't doing anything at the time, so I just went ahead and answered it. Let me put this more in the frame. I am trying to get better about answering YouTube comments, though. So we'll see what happens with that. I do still have people messaging me, asking me to try such and such pencil. It's a budget-friendly pencil. It's a good pencil. And I appreciate your all suggestions, and I know that a lot of you out there do prefer coloring with the budget-friendly supplies. My thing is this, and I'm going to try to put this in a way that doesn't make me sound like a jerk, but I have so many pencils right now, and I love I love a lot of my pencils. I love my Prismacolors and I love my Polychromos. I love my Farben pencils, even though I don't see those on Amazon anymore. So I don't know if they stopped selling them or what happened. But I do love those. I love my Black Widows, despite the fact that mine break constantly. And sometimes I just get so frustrated that they're hard to use. And I need to heat treat them like I do my Prismacolors. And see if that helps. But I really don't have a whole lot of interest in buying a lot more budget-friendly pencils. Not because I think they're bad, but because I have enough, and I know that what's going to happen is I'm going to get them, and I'm going to try them out, and I'm just never going to use them. And because I have a kid that's getting ready to go to college and stuff, what I spend my money on at this point, I really need to make sure that it's things I'm going to use and enjoy. So if you guys are saying, you know, hey, you need to try such and such budget-friendly pencil, it's not that I have something against it. It's just that I know that I'm probably not going to use it, and spending money on things that I'm not going to use right now is not feasible for me. I'm always going to go back to my Prismacolors and Polychromos, and probably once the Luminance get here, those will probably be some favorites too. But you know, that if you guys want me to try a budget-friendly pencil, please feel free to mention it. It's not that I'm absolutely not going to do it. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just that if I have the money to do it, and if they get pretty good reviews, you know, I might try them just to see. Because like I said, I like the Farben ones, but from what I understand, they don't even make them anymore. They don't sell them. I don't know what's happened, which makes me sad, because that's like one of the budget-friendly ones I actually love. I went to go put a set on my wish list the other day, because I noticed I had a couple that were getting kind of small. And I was thinking about coloring a picture with them, but I could not find them. And I was disappointed in that they were no longer there. So if anybody has any information about those that you would like to share to help me out. Did they stop making them altogether? Did something happen to the company? Are my pencils radioactive and I didn't know it? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. We'll get this one down here, and I've got a couple back here in this corner. And then I'll be all finished with the tulips. I think I'm going to do one more and go take a little break. I've been on for about 40 minutes almost now for the color and chat part of the video. I know a lot of you guys don't like real long videos, and I know some of you do. But here's the thing, guys. If I ramble on too long for you, feel free to just turn the video off. Go watch somebody else. Come back to it later. Don't. Whatever you want to do. The thing about YouTube, guys, I'm not holding you hostage. And like I said earlier, there's just absolutely no way I can make everybody happy with everything I do. It is absolutely not going to happen. So, you guys make suggestions. Do I consider them? Absolutely. Everything everybody says to me is important. It really is. Every comment, every suggestion, every complaint is important to me. It really is. I need everybody to know that. But there's only so many things that are really within my power to change. So, I'm having so much fun with these flowers. See, this is why flowers are my favorite things to color. Flowers and leaves. A couple of things I think I still need to get. that I would like to have, but I don't have, I think are Botanicum by Maria Trolla. That book is so pretty. And then there's another one that's about flowers. I have the Flower Year. A fairy godmother gifted that to me. And I love it. I need to color in it more. I like it because it's nice and small, like pocket-sized almost. What's the other one? Floribunda, I think is the name of it. Floribunda? Yeah. That one's really pretty too. My favorite things to color. Alright, let me go ahead and go in with my yellow. There we go. Alright, now we'll finish up all the reds. I'm so excited. I haven't really even looked at the weekly challenge album yet this week, because I'm working so hard to make sure I put an entry in there myself just for fun. I don't compete, and it's not a competition really anyway. It's a random thing. But I'm just determined that I'm going to get an entry into an album in my own Facebook group this week. It's going to happen. I will color all night to get this done if I have to. It's going to happen. Oh, I love the way those look. Actually, though, no. I need to come in. I'm glad I didn't push too hard. I need to come in and put a little shadow here. I don't know if that's even dark enough. I may need to get my... Yep, I'm going to take a black right there for those two flowers. See where they're overlapping? I'm going to take a black and try to darken that up just a little bit. Just a real thin line. Again, it's about the contrast, making it really stand out. There we go. And now I'm going to take my black raspberry and go over that so it's not so black. There, it's better. I like it. Now then I'm going to blend that out just a smidge. That is perfect. That'll work. Alright guys, at this point I'm going to go take a little bit of a break for a few minutes. I've been talking for almost 45 minutes straight. And then I'm going to come back and we're going to finish up at least these two. And I may go ahead and do the ladybugs. I think I'm going to do them like an orangey yellow instead of red, because I'm afraid if I make them red it's going to take your eyes off the flowers, and I want the flowers to be the main focus. So what I'm going to do is, let me move this stuff out of the way a little. Put this here in the middle. Zoom that out so that you guys can see what it looks like at this point. So what I have left when I get back, and I don't know if I can't finish it all on camera, obviously. We'll be here all day. But I have this building here, and this little part of this building back here, which I originally thought was part of this, but I don't think it is. It may be like the front door of it. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to color it like it is. And then I have this mailbox and this bird. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the bird like blues, like a mostly light blue with some darker blues, and then do the same for this mailbox so that I have that color in two places. We're going to do the ladybugs in like a yellowy orange. We're going to do these leaves. I don't know if I want to use the same, I think I'm going to use the same greens as I use like in these trees and in the stems. And then the grass, I think I'm going to do just a more yellowy, brighter green. And then that's it. That's all I got left to do. Okay, break time for me, guys. Sit tight. I will be back in just a few minutes. Alright, everybody. I've gotten everything taken care of. Had myself a nice little break. Went out and cleaned up my front yard just a little bit. So, I am ready to finish up my last couple flowers before we end the video today. It's going to be kind of a long one today, isn't it? It'll be done soon. I only have a couple left. So yeah, I went outside and checked the bird feeder in the bird bath, and the water in the bird bath is just so hot. I don't know if there's much of anything I can do about it, to be honest. This is going to be a strange one to try to color. Watered my plants I have outside in the hanging baskets. I don't even know what they are. They're just like foliage plants, annuals I think it said. So they'll, if I bring them in the winter, they won't die, maybe. I don't, you guys have to understand, I don't know the first thing about any of this. It's all new to me. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out if I manage to keep them alive in the winter without killing them. It'll be a miracle. This is going to be a tough one. This book has a weird edge. It's hard to color. Okay, now my dark. I'll bring that one in. Put it at the bottom. Over here. And I'm going to put just a smidge to show the shadows where all the petals are behind each other and whatnot. There we go. And then we'll put some at the bottom. Oh, the funniest thing happened yesterday. So my boyfriend and I decided yesterday that since it was just the two of us that it was kind of pointless to cook anything, and I hadn't thawed anything anyway that would have been suitable for just the two of us. I actually didn't really have much of anything that would have been suitable for just the two of us. So we decided that we would just order some Chinese food, which, you know, I haven't had Chinese food in a while. It sounded good, so got my Chinese food. We went and sat down in the living room and we ate and we were watching TV, and then when we finished eating, I went and got my coloring book off my desk and carried it in the living room with my lap desk. And so I was kind of sitting there coloring and talking, and he's flipping through the on-demand stuff for our cable provider. We have Spectrum, so he's flipping through the on-demand. And he decided to turn on Cartoon Classics, which is like a mix of stuff like Looney Tunes and Betty Boop and Popeye and that kind of thing. And, you know, I kind of giggled and laughed at him a little bit. And I said, "Are you serious? Are you really going to watch Looney Tunes right now?" He's like, so he just got this really strange look on his face and, like, was staring at me. And I'm like, what? What I do? He's like, "Erin, do you realize that you are coloring in a coloring book and making fun of me for watching cartoons?" And at that point, the only thing I could say was, "You know what? Touche." Touche, touche, carry on. It was funny. It was hilarious. So then we ended up watching Looney Tunes while I was coloring in my coloring book. And we literally watched like 2 hours of Looney Tunes. And then when that was over, he turned on Whose Line Is It Anyway, which is absolutely hilarious. I love that show so much. So we watched it for a while. But yeah, that was a funny joke. Just something to share. It's a perfect example of, you know, one should probably think before one speaks. Here I am coloring in a coloring book, teasing him for watching Looney Tunes. And I'm sure that you guys know, and it may be, I know it's blasphemy to some of you, but I am not, absolutely am not a Disney fan. I don't dislike Disney. I will watch Disney movies. I have nothing against watching Disney movies. It's just that if I have my choice, like if I get to pick what I want to watch, it's not Disney. Like ever. Never Disney. Not Disney anything. Okay, well, I don't know if you can consider Monsters, Inc. Disney. I think it's a Pixar thing. I like Monsters, Inc. a lot. So I'm just not really... I'm not a cartoons type person, I guess. If I'm gonna watch cartoons, I'll watch like, I'll watch stuff like Rick and Morty or Family Guy, American Dad. I used to watch South Park, like when it was new I watched it. But to me it feels like South Park just kind of got stale. It was the same stuff and it got to the point where it was dumb, really. I really do like Rick and Morty though, it's funny. Alright, my last tulip. Yay! And then I have to move on to the rest of the picture. I think that out of what I have left, the leaves and the grass is going to be the biggest time consumer. And I'm not real sure even still how I'm going to color them, so it'll be a surprise for both of us when I get it posted in the group. So again, guys, if you all aren't members of the Simple Art for Adults Facebook group, you really should come hang out with us. We have a lot of fun. There's always something neat going on. The girls are always coming up with some really fun giveaways and contests and challenge ideas. And we got some pretty creative brains in there, and I enjoy it a lot. It's a lot of fun. There's so many different groups doing so many different things. You know, you can't belong to the coloring community and ever be bored. It's impossible. There's always so much happening. So, and I haven't been really good about it here lately, and I kind of feel bad for it. But what I'm going to do is at night, like usually what I'll do is I'll watch YouTube in the evenings before bed. I'll go like sit in my bed and color on my lap desk and watch everybody's YouTube videos for the week or the day or whatever it happens to be. I need to start taking my little notebook in there with me and writing down what everybody has going on and kind of like keeping an event calendar for everybody that I watch to see what kind of what events they're doing. Like right now I know Sammy Coloring Chat with Sammy is doing the Kirby Rosanna's and Nicholas, is it Nicholas Filbert? I don't remember. I can't, isn't that horrible? I think it is. But she's got that challenge going on where you color a picture from either one of those. Grace is doing the Crayola challenge. There's all kinds of fun things happening, so I need to really start keeping track of that so I can help you guys keep track. And there we go. There's all my tulips. They're all done. Yay! So now all I have to do is make sure I get the grass done in a way and the leaves done in a way that doesn't take away from them so that they're still a focal point. So I'm going to have to think about that for a while. Alright guys, well that is all I have for you today. I know this has been a really long video today, but it is my day off and I just kind of want to take the day to sit and color, talk, and get some things done. I hope you enjoyed everything today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Just remember that sometimes it's difficult for me to get back and answer comments on YouTube. You're more than likely to get an answer from me out of the Facebook group. If you're new to this channel and you like what you've seen here today and you want to see more like it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and give this video a big thumbs up because that helps kind of put it in front of more people. And that's really all I have for you today. I'm going to put links in the description box to everything that I used here today, including the things that were in my top 10 coloring supplies list. I'm going to try to find all the links for all that stuff and I'll put it in the description box. So if you guys are interested in looking at it, buying any of it, it should all be down there for you. That's all I have for you today. I do want to thank you for tuning in, and as always, happy coloring!